Planned APC NEC meeting has been cancelled after APC governors and President Muhammadu Buhari met at the Villa today, relieving pressure on the party national chairman Adams Oshomole over threats to remove him from office. And conflicting court orders trail the crisis rocking the APC as the Federal High Court in Abuja was asking Mr. Victor Giadom to start being the APC acting chairman. The appeal court, on the other hand, is vacating an order suspending Adams Oshomole. We dissect all of this right here. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. What a day it's been for the APC, Nigeria's ruling party. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Okimale and we're here to make sense of what has become a major story in the land today. Politically speaking, of course, big deal in the crisis rocking the APC, two conflicting orders, and President Buhari saving the day for Adams Oshomole. If you dissect it politically, you know what I mean. We will dissect these issues tonight on the program. But let's now check some other stories we are following for you on our political roundup.
The Kano State House of Assembly has suspended 5 lawmakers for alleged insubordination and breach of the rules and regulation of the House during last Monday's rally session on the floor of the House prior to the removal of Muhammadu Sanusi II. Preliminary session, the Speaker of the House, Abdulaziz Gafasa, who announced the suspension following a point of order presented by one of the members, says the lawmakers are to remain suspended for 6 months. Members of the House of Representatives Committee on Defense are asking the military to develop unconventional strategies to fight terrorism in the country. They are also challenging the military to pay attention to early warning signs of imminent attacks by Boko Haram on communities in the northeast. The federal lawmakers are making this request at a retreat for the Committee on Defense in Abuja. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, wants the military to be prepared for any attack on the country in whatever form. After months of litigation, the People's Democratic Party, PDP Edo State, has held its state congress in Benin City, the Edo State capital, with new executives elected to pilot the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. At the end of the voting and counting on Sunday, Dr. Tony Azegbeni emerged winner as the new state chairman of the party, while Hilary Otsu was elected the state secretary. The People's Democratic Party World Congress in Jigawa State, slated for today, March the 16th, was disrupted because of the suspicions of some aggrieved party members over foul play by party leaders. In an interview with newsmen, Mr. Adamu Hassan Abinabo of a faction under the two-term governorship candidate of the party, Aminu Ibrahim Ringim, told journalists that there was likely to be irregularity in the election. The Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak says he was hesitant to sign the minimum wage deal with Labour because he was convinced that the local government councils cannot afford the changes that the negotiation panel has proposed. Mr. Abdulrazak told Labour leaders at a consultation meeting in Ilorin that he was ready to sign the deal if he would not be held responsible when the councils default. The Labour leaders responded, urging the governor to sign the wage bill as they assured that the local government could pay with staff auditing.
So let's get to it, everyone. Get a seat, because perhaps what a lot of people would think is the worst that will happen to Mr. Adams Oshomole being the chairman of the APC did not happen, at least for now, considering what came out of the meeting between the APC governors and the President Muhammadu Buhari. We shall begin from a federal high court sitting in Maitama area of the FCT Abuja. And our FCT High Court sitting in Maitama granted an interim order allowing Mr. Victor Giadom to pilot the affairs of the All Progressives Congress APC as acting chairman and to preside over all National Executive Council meetings of the APC. Take a look at that court order right there on your screen. That was earlier. Few hours later, the appeal court issued an order vacating the High Court's injunction suspending Mr. Adams Oshomole as APC national chairman. The three-man panel of the court, presided over by Justice Abubakar Yahya, ordered a stay of execution of the order pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice filed by Mr. Oshomole. The court also granted an order of interim injunction restraining the defendants from taking any action that will violate the order of a stay of execution granted by the court. The court, however, warned political parties to resolve their differences amicably without resorting to the court. Hearing of the motion on notice has been fixed for Friday, March 20th, 2020. And so, perhaps a political move which has changed the whole scenario is that meeting that happened with the president when the proposed National Executive Committee meeting of the APC scheduled for tomorrow was cancelled. The chairman of the APC governors and governor of Kebbi State, Mr. Atiku Bagudu, disclosed this after governors of the All Progressives Congress Control State met for about 30 minutes with President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House. He says the postponement is to allow the governors time to resolve all contending issues affecting the party. The governors of Imo, Nasarawa, Osun, Lagos, and Plateau, as well as those of Katsina, Edo, Borno, Gombe, Ogun, Niger, Kebbi, and Jigawa State were in attendance in that meeting.
Congress control states came this afternoon to meet with Mr. President. And among other issues, yes, we discussed about party issue and show appreciation to Mr. President, how he has given access to each of us individually and collectively. And among the issues we discussed was the need with the resolution that the governors have taken to work together and resolve all the issues in the party, in our party, and also to seek Mr. President support to postpone the National Executive Council meeting that was scheduled for tomorrow until such a time that the governors are able to report back.
So you heard him, postpone until they are able to resolve the crisis in the party. Let's get a sense of what has happened and the implications, because the worst a lot of people thought will happen if that NEC meeting goes ahead. Perhaps Mr. Oshomole was going to be removed, and there's a fight on this other side to stop that NEC meeting. Pro-Oshomole forces are saying that the convening of that meeting is illegal, it's unconstitutional. The court also saying Mr. Giado should pilot the affairs of the party. What does this mean? I have joining me someone who went to court seeking Oshomole's removal, Mr. Mustafa Salihu, who is the APC National Vice Chairman Northeast. He's in our Abuja studio, as well as Mr. Washington Osifo, is a member of the APC and a lawmaker. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming tonight. Let me begin with you. Mr. Mustafa Salihu, you went to court stopping Mr. Oshomole, and you are one of those who said that the NEC meeting of tomorrow, slated for tomorrow, should hold. But now that it has been cancelled, what's your reaction to that?
Yeah, Sean, you know, actually, last time I was here, I told you the essence of that calling that NEC meeting was to hand over the party to the people. In a situation whereby we have this kind of vacuum, the national chairman suspended and the two deputies were not on seat. Then we have only the acting national secretary. We felt, and given the crisis and the magnitude of the crisis, we felt if we did not call for that NEC and hand over the party to the people, then we will be held responsible if this little crisis snowballed into something big and led to the implosion of the party. And that was why we insisted that NEC should hold and that the people now will decide the fate of the party. But incidentally, you saw the governors met with the president, and they decided that the level of divisiveness in the party, even at the NEC level, it may not be resolved. They need to, first of all, do some political moves within them, resolve some germane issues before we now come back and sit at NEC.
Mr. Saliu, let me quickly ask you this. Are you still considering, after the federal, the appeal court said Mr. Shomale should continue as the chairman of the APC, are you still referring to him as a suspended national chairman?
Yeah, see, first of all, I've not been served with the, because I'm a party to the suit, I'm not supposed to discuss this suit. But all I want to tell you, Sheon, is that I'm not being served with that motion of stay. Until I'm served and I discuss with my lawyers, then I will know what to say about that suit. I'm a party to the suit. I'm not going to subjudice the court. I don't know what transpired in the court. I was not at the court. I have a serious engagement today, and I'm not being served officially with that order. So when I'm served with that order, then I'll be able to know what to say about it. But all I know is that the leaders of the party have weighed in, and they're trying to look for political solution to the entire problem. And this is actually what we have been looking for, all of us. The reason why we went to court ab initio is because there is no BOT for us to report the apex body or the chairman of the apex body of the party too. If BOT was constituted, we would have written to BOT and seek their opinion on what was going on. But the BOT was not inaugurated, so there was no place for us to go.
All right. So, but quickly, before I go to Mr. Osifo, Mr. Saliu, are you worried that the president's body language does not show that he's in support of what you have done? Because some people will say, for example, Chibisa Kande is one saying, look, you have not exhausted the internal resolution mechanism of the party before going to court.
We have exhausted the internal resolution mechanism because the suspension was brought from state to working committee. I am a member of working committee. The day they want to sit on this matter, I advised that the chairman should recuse himself for someone to sit on it, to let the main principle of nemo juris in casa sua prevail. You cannot be a judge in your own matter. He did not do that. He sat on the matter and dismissed the petition, which is a breach of constitutional proceedings. So also, even if you are talking about the committee constituted too, morally, we owe it to that committee to go to them to seek for any kind of redress, because this committee is highly respected. It's made up of highly respected members of the party. Baba Kande is our mentor. He's a pioneer chairman of this party. All of us, he enjoys enormous respect along the lines of
So, Mr. Saliu, just a moment. Just a moment. I'll come back to you in a moment. Apologies, just a moment. Let me allow Mr. Osifo. We have a few minutes to go on our first break on the program. Mr. Osifo, how does the outcome of the court today come to you? You are a supporter of Adams Oshiomhole. Is it just a situation of buying time of what a lot of people think will be the worst of removing Adams Oshiomhole as the national chairman of the APC?
Well, Shehu, thanks for having me. In my penultimate appearance here, I said it, that I will be highly surprised if by tomorrow, with the NEC meeting that was slated, was held. And I want to thank Mr. President, because I also said it on that day, that Mr. President must, as a matter of urgent importance, as the leader of the party, meet with the governors concerned and resolve this matter as party leaders. And I think he listened to me, and I think he listened to wisdom, and I think as a father, he has done exactly that which was expected of him. So kudos to him, and God bless him. I want to say that this matter, I think, discussing it this evening, is just for the purpose of telling Nigerians what has happened today. Otherwise, it's been overflowed. You cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. Neither can you an attempt to stand a sack that is empty will not end in futility. Now, whatever has led to this is all about ego, it's all about disagreement, and I am sure, like the judge of the Court of Appeal also said today, that parties should learn to respect their own constitution and resolve the problems within, by themselves, and to leave the court out of it. And I want to say that what drew us into all of this was some persons who attempted to bastardize the constitution of the party which I have
Mr.
repeatedly
Osifo,
mentioned
apologies
here,
that I'm butting in, but
not
we need to take a break. I'll allow you to continue on that thought when we come back from this break. Don't go anywhere, everyone, because we'll be right back. We analyze the president's intervention, the conflict in court orders, and the way forward for the APC, Nigeria's ruling party. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's get back to the conversation. It's about the crisis rocking the APC. So there was a major move. Perhaps one thing that a lot of people have been expecting. They do not know where President Buhari, his interest is in this matter. Whether or not he's an anti-Oshomole or a pro-Oshomole or whatever he stands on this one, it does show today that he's perhaps shown some support for Mr. Oshomole as against the plan to hold a NEC meeting where the fate of Mr. Oshomole would have been decided tomorrow. There were conflicting court orders today, one from the Federal High Court and another from the Appeal Court. One saying Mr. Oshomole should remain, the other saying Victor Giadom should be the acting national chairman of the APC. My guest tonight, the man who went to court asking Mr. Oshomole to step aside, Mr. Saliu Mustafa, APC National Vice Chairman Northeast, and Mr. Washington Osifo is a pro-Oshomole member of the APC and a lawmaker. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Let me allow you to land on that thought, Mr. Osifo. You were on that, saying you're explaining some of the reasons behind the move today. Perhaps you can also touch on the fact that you were in the appeal court when I spoke to you earlier today, and the decision of the court is conflicting with the Federal High Court decision asking Mr. Victor Giadom to be the APC acting national chairman. Isn't that a confusion?
Well, Shehu, first, again, I think what the president did was to save the party of this huge embarrassment, and also to restore the confidence in our constitution. It is not because he supports Oshomole or he's against the parties who also went to court, but he's a man that is in tune with his constitution, and he has seen it. That whatever was done or attempted to be done that led to the calling for the NEC meeting was illegal. It does not represent the spirit and letters of our constitution. Therefore, he came in to save the constitution of the party. Therefore, the party is saved. Now, talking about conflict of the other, I want to tell you there's nothing conflicting about the others. If you listen to what my brother here said, he said when he imagined that there was vacancy, then that was why he did what he did. But that was under the imagination that there was vacancy. But if you run through it based on what happened in court today, looking at what happened in FCT court and the court of the court of appeal, you will agree with me, even in the hierarchy of courts, that the FCT court is an inferior court compared to a superior court like the court of appeal. Therefore, there is no conflicting interest whatsoever. What the court has said is that the national chairman is the national chairman, and nobody, whether the police, the members of the All Progressives Congress, the DSS, or whoever, every one of them is restrained from taking steps to give a life to that order that was gotten in the pretext that the seat was vacant. So what the court has said today is that the seat is not vacant. Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole remains the substantive chairman, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. Pari passu, when that was happening, I'm sure the president in his wisdom was also having meetings with critical stakeholders who themselves have also come out to tell us that, look, we now agree that the best way to settle our problems is to come together in a fraternal spirit to seek ways and means of solving them. So I want to say kudos to them, and I want to further advise them that in the spirit of unity, and strength of the party, they should put all cards on the table and bury all ambition that has the potency of crippling our party if we do not come together as in love to foster the unity of our party, so that we can discharge our responsibility to this great nation who voted for us to take them to the next level. The dream of taking them to the next level must not be allowed to nosedive.
Mr. Osifo, are you worried? Apologies, please. Are you worried, Mr. Osifo, and the caliber and the kind of people that wanted Mr. Oshomole out? If you look at some of the meetings that have been held, some of them at night, some of them in front of the cameras, are you worried that Mr. Oshomole is perhaps becoming unpopular in the hierarchy and the leadership of the APC?
Well, I am not worried. But one thing you must know is that the APC is a very big party. And you have caliber of persons that you talk about, it cuts across board. then you are also aware, as a member of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, perhaps more informed than I am, that also those who are in support, supporting Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole as the national chairman, far outweigh in terms of numbers, those you are talking about. It's like saying those for us are against us. But I don't want to draw us into that dance of comparison anymore. What I want us to build on is the good thing that the leader of the party, the president of this country, has done this evening. I want us to build on that. Let's de-emphasize what divides us. Let's emphasize more of what,
right.
what
let's allow Mr. Saliu back into the conversation for a moment, Mr. Osifo. Mr. Saliu, what does this mean for you? It does look like the president may not be on your side of the divide. And those who are saying that you guys are being sponsored by some governors in the party, is it not a loss for your side? It does look like Mr. Oshomole is winning. He has an upper hand in this.
Sheon, I want to tell you categorically that in this tussle, there's no winner, there's no loser. What transpired today shows that, the president weighed in, and it shows that it goes along to shows that we have an epicenter where when crisis hit up, there is somebody that can come in and settle all sides. You can see that all the governors, despite the fact that some of them are pro and against, all of them agreed with what the president said, and they came out and gave the announcement. And with regards one governor or two governors sponsoring myself, everybody that knows me knows that I am more than, politically, financially, economically, and otherwise, I'm more than someone that you can send to go and do your bidding. I am an institution of myself. So what I'm doing is, I'm doing what I'm doing to serve this party. And you can see that I'm able to draw the attention of the leaders. Now, they have to come in and do what is right. But we cannot be sitting with a suspension, whether it's viable or not, and the chairman is signing documents. And one day, one court will come and tell us that all the documents he signed to INEC.
Mr. Saliu, let me ask you this question. Now, just apologies, please. Now that the president is looking into resolving this matter, there's a political solution, the possibility of a political solution. But as it stands right now, would you be willing to withdraw the case you took to court in this regard, now that the president has weighed in?
Yeah, you know, Sheon, as I said earlier, I'm not doing this thing for my own interest. I cannot be national chairman. I am not going for the seat. Neither do I have anybody I'm going for that seat. All I want is that let the party have focus and let us restore the trust of our people to the party. Once we sit down, as the Honorable said, and put the cards on the table, and we'll now look at all the possible ways that our peace, all parties, and ensure that most of the condition precedent that led to these skirmishes in the first place are averted, then we'll have no problem with withdrawing suits.
Let's close the program. Let's close the program. And I need your reaction just in a few seconds. Do you think that if Mr. Oshomole resolves the crisis with Mr. Obaseki, which a lot of people said that may be the genesis of all the problem, do you think this crisis might be resolved? Do you think it's majorly between Obaseki and Oshomole?
It will go a long way in solving this problem. It will go a long way. I'm assuring you, it will go a long way. Because let me tell you, we are not ready to have divided party in Edo State. We are not ready. We will do everything humanly possible to see that we have a united party in Edo State. So this and other factors and other, let's say, another.
We need to close now. Let me allow Mr. Osifo. Just in 20 seconds, Mr. Osifo, do you think that if Mr. Obaseki and Oshomole resolve their crisis, this crisis will be over in 20 seconds?
Well, I think Mr. Obaseki should resolve his own crisis. There's no crisis between Comrade National Chairman and himself. How can you explain a situation where 14 members are not sworn in? Members of the House of Assembly voted for an APC. Does that make sense? So who should be having issue with him? Is Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole a member-elect? I was never sworn in. We were not sworn in.
All right.
No time to Governor Godwin.
That's where we draw the curtain. We're out of time. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Mr. Saliu Mustafa, APC National Vice Chairman Northeast, and Mr. Washington Osifo, APC member and a lawmaker. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight. Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.